Love the way Haley's sitting. Thank you. Okay, good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to our Dr. Seuss time. We're very excited. This is our time to celebrate reading, and we want to thank our Snapdragon Book Foundation for providing our books for us. We won the grant. We're very excited, and we used it to buy a collection of Dr. Seuss books that students were able to use and teachers were able to use and our guest readers, so we want to thank them. We want to thank our Dr. Quinn. Dr. Quinn is our Chief Academic Officer for Worcester County Public Schools, and he's going to celebrate reading with us. He's going to be reading Horton Hears a Who. And as he's reading Horton Hears a Who, boys and girls, I want you to think, what is the author's purpose for writing this story? Dr. Quinn, we thank you so much for coming in for this windy day.
My pleasure, Ms. Gordon. Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I get to read Horton Hears a Who. And on the back, well, before I say that, anybody know what kind of animal he is? Is that a giraffe?
No.
Is that a bear?
No.
Tiger?
No.
Yes, what kind of animal?
Elephant.
He's an elephant, you're right. And on the back it says, a kind elephant tries to protect a small creature on a speck of dust. So sometimes on the cover of the book you get an idea about what the story is going to be. So I'm going to start. How many people have read this book? Oh, wow. Okay, so you're going to hear it again. If you haven't heard it, it's a good story. Okay, so let me start. And here's our friend Horton the elephant. And it says, on the 15th of May, in the jungle of Newell, in the heat of the day, in the cool of the pool, he was splashing, enjoying the jungle's great joys, when Horton the elephant heard a small noise. He heard something. So Horton stopped splashing. He looked around the sound. He looked toward the sound. That's funny, thought Horton. There's no one around. And he heard it again, just a very faint yelp, as if some tiny person were calling for help. I'll help you, said Horton. But who are you? Where? He looked and he looked. He could see nothing there, but a small speck of dust blowing past through the air. Anyone see that little piece of dust there? Yeah. Yes? No? Well, it's very hard to see because a speck of dust is really small. Somehow Horton was able to hear it and see it. I say, murmured Horton. I've never heard tell of a small speck of dust that's able to yell. So know what I think? Why, I think that there must be someone on top of that small speck of dust. Some sort of creature of very small size, too small to be seen by an elephant's eyes. So there's a speck of dust, and he's trying to look at it. It's so small, you really can barely see it. Some poor little person who's shaking with fear that he'll blow in the pool. He has no way to steer. I'll just have to save him because after all, a person's a person, no matter how small. What a nice elephant. So gently and using the greatest of care, the elephant stretched his great trunk through the air. And he lifted the dust speck and carried it over and placed it down safe on a very soft clover. Clover is that little pink flower there. Or plant. Humph! Humphed a voice. 'Twas a sour kangaroo. And a young kangaroo in a pouch said, humph, too. Why, that speck is as small as the head of a pin. A person on that? Why, there's never been. So the kangaroos don't believe that Horton actually heard anything, do? Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll find out later about that. It's a good theory. Believe me, said Horton, I'll tell you sincerely. My eyes are quite keen, and I heard him, my ears are quite keen, and I heard him quite clearly. I know there's a person down there, and what's more, quite likely there's two, even three, even four, quite likely. A family, for all that we know. A family with children just starting to grow. So please, Horton said, as a favor to me, try not to disturb them. Just please let them be. I think you're a fool, laughed the sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said, me too. You're the biggest blamed fool in the jungle of Newell. And the kangaroos plunged in the cool of the pool. What terrible splashing, the elephant frowned. I can't let my very small persons get drowned. I've got to protect them. I'm bigger than they. So he plucked up the clover and he hustled away. Through the high jungle treetops, the news quickly spread. He talks to a dust speck. He's out of his head. Just look at him walk with the speck on that flower. And Horton walked worrying almost an hour. Should I put this speck down? Horton thought with alarm. If I do, these small persons may come to great harm. I can't put it down, and I won't after all. A person's a person, no matter how small. Then Horton stopped walking and the speck voice was talking. The voice was so faint he could barely hear it. Speak up, please, said Horton. He put his ear near it. My friend, came the voice, you're a very fine friend. You've helped all us folks on this dust speck no end. You saved all our houses, our ceilings and floors. You saved all our churches and our grocery stores. You mean, Horton gasped, you have buildings there too? Oh yes, piped the voice, we most certainly do. I know, called the voice, I'm too small to be seen, but I'm mayor of the town, and it's friendly and clean. Our buildings to you would seem terribly small, but to us, they aren't big, they're wonderfully tall. My town is called Whoville, for I am a Who, and we Whos are all thankful and grateful to you. And Horton called back to the mayor of the town, you're safe now, don't worry, I won't let you down. But as he spoke to the mayor of the speck, 3 big jungle monkeys climbed up Horton's neck. The Wickersham brothers came shouting, what rot, this elephant's talking to Whos who are not. There aren't any Whos, and they don't have a mayor, so you're going to stop all this nonsense, so there. Look at that monkey reaching up for that clover with the speck on it. There we go. They snatched Horton's clover. They carried it off to a black-bottomed eagle named Vladikar. A very strong eagle, a very swift wing. And they said, will you kindly get rid of this thing? And before the poor elephant could even speak, the eagle flew off with the flower in his beak. Uh-oh. All that afternoon and far into the night, the black-bottomed bird flipped his wings in fast flight, while Horton chased after with groans over stones, and tattered his toenails and battered his bones, and begged, please don't harm all my little folks, who have as much right to live as us bigger folks do. Far and far beyond him, that eagle kept flapping, and over his shoulder called back, quit your yapping. I'll fly the night through. I'm a bird, I don't mind it, and I'll hide this tomorrow where you'll never be able to find it. Oh, boy. And at 6:56 the next morning, he hit it. It was such a terrible place that he hit it. He let that small clover drop somewhere inside of a great patch of clovers 100 miles wide. Fine that, sneered the bird. But I think you will fail. And he left with a flip on his black-bottomed tail. So he drops the clover into a whole field of clovers. Poor Horton's got to find the right one. Woof. I'll find it, cried Horton. I'll find it or bust. I shall find my friends on this small speck of dust. And clover by clover with care, he picked up and searched them and called, are you there? But clover by clover he found that the one he sought for was just not around. And by noon, poor old Horton, more dead than alive, had picked, searched, and piled up 9,005. That's a lot of clovers.
Mr. Jackson.
Then, on through the afternoon, hour after hour, till he found them at last, on the 3,000,000th flower. My friends, cried the elephant, tell me, do tell, are you safe? Are you sound? Are you whole? Are you well? From down on the speck came the voice of the mayor. We really had trouble, much more than our share. When that black-bottomed birdie let go and we dropped, we landed so hard that our clocks have all stopped. Our teapots are broken, our rocking chairs smashed, and our bicycle tires all blew up when we crashed. So Horton, please, pleaded the voice of the mayor's, will you stick by us, whose, while we make our repairs? Of course, Horton answered. Of course I will stick. I'll stick by you small folks, through thin and through thick. Yeah?
You're my favorite also.
Oh, that's good to know. All right, you guys good? Should I continue on?
Yes.
All right. Humph the voice. For almost 2 days you've run wild and insisted on chatting with persons who never existed. Such carrying on in our peaceable jungle, we've had quite enough of your bellowing bungle. And I'm here to state, snapped the big kangaroo, that your silly, nonsensical game is all through. And the young kangaroo in the pouch said, me too. Kangaroos aren't happy with Horton. With the help of the Wickersham brothers and dozens of Wickersham uncles and Wickersham cousins and Wickershaw in-laws, whose help I've engaged, you're going to be roped and you're going to be caged. And as far as your dust speck, ha! That we shall boil in a hot steaming kettle of bezel nut oil. Boil it, gasped Horton. Oh, that you can't do. It's all full of persons. They'll prove it to you. Mr. Mayor, Horton called, Mr. Mayor, you've got to prove that you're really there. So call a big meeting. Get everyone out. Make everyone who holler. Make every who shout. Make every who scream. If you don't, every who is going to end up in a bezel nut stew. And down on the despot step, the scared little mayor quick called a meeting in Whoville Town Square, and his people cried loudly. They cried out in fear. We are here, we are here, we are here. The elephant smiled. That was clear as a bell. You kangaroo surely heard that very well. All I heard, snapped the big kangaroo, was the breeze and a faint sound of wind through the distant trees. I heard no small voices, and you didn't either. And the young kangaroo in a pouch said, me neither. Grab him, they shouted, and cage the big dope. Lasso his stomach with 10 miles of rope. Tie the knots tight so he'll never shake loose. Then dunk the dumb speck in the bezel nut juice. Horton fought back with great vigor and vim, but the Wickersham gang was too many for him. They beat him, they mauled him, they started to haul him into a cage. But he managed to call to the mayor, don't give up, I believe in you all. A person's a person, no matter how small. And you or very small persons will not have to die if you make yourselves heard. So come on now, and try. The mayor grabbed the tom-tom, he started to smack it, and all over Whoville they whooped up a racket. They rattled tin kettles, they beat on brass pans, on garbage pail tops and old cranberry cans. They blew on bazookas and blasted great toots, on clarinets, umpas, and boompas and flutes. Great gusts of loud racket ran through the air. They rattled and shook the whole sky, and the mayor called up through the howling and mad hullabaloo. Hey, Horton, how's this? Is our sound coming through? And Horton called back, I can hear you fine, but the kangaroo's ears aren't as strong, quite as mine. They don't hear a thing. Are you sure all your boys are doing their best and are all making noise? Are you sure every who down in Whoville is working? Quick, look through your town. Is there anyone shirking? Shirking means they're not participating, I guess. Through the town rushed the mayor from the east to the west, but everyone seemed to be doing his best. Everyone seemed to be yapping or yipping. Everyone seemed to be beeping or bipping. But it wasn't enough, all this ruckus and roar. He had to find someone to help him make more. He raced through each building. He searched floor to floor. So the mayor's looking for someone who can make some more racket. I hope there is still someone left. The Who's are in a lot of trouble. And just as he felt he was getting nowhere and almost about to give up in despair, he suddenly burst through a door, and that mayor discovered one shirker, quite hidden away in the Fairfax apartments, in apartment 12J. A very small shirker named Jojo was just standing and bouncing a yo-yo, not making a sound, not a yip, not a chirp. And the mayor rushed inside and he grabbed the young twerp. Uh-oh. Jojo wasn't doing what he was supposed to. And he climbed with the lad up the Eiffelberg Tower. This, cried the mayor, is your town's darkest hour. Time for all Who's who have blood that is red to come to the aid of their country, he said. You've got to make noises in greater amounts. So open your mouth, lad. Open your mouth, lad, for every voice counts. Thus he spoke as he climbed. When they got to the top, the lad cleared his voice and he shouted, "Yop!" And that yop, that one extra yop, put it over. Finally at last, from that speck on the clover, their voices were heard. They rang out clear and clean, and the elephant smiled. You see what I mean? They prove they are persons, no matter how small, and their whole world was saved by the smallest of all. How true, yes, how true, said the big kangaroo. From now on, you know what I'm planning to do? From now on, I'm going to protect them with you. And the young kangaroo in the pouch said,
Me too.
Me too. From sun in the summer, from rain in the fallish, I'm going to protect them no matter how smallish. All right. What a great book. That made me almost start to cry. Horton stuck by all those little people. Wasn't that great?